We've been covering camera rumors for months, talking about launch windows and credible speculation and FCC filings that suggest something could happen sometime before the end of the year. But today is different because Insta360 officially confirmed it. August 12th, 2026. The Insta360 X6 is launching. The pre-order infrastructure is being assembled right now. Let's talk about what's arriving this week. Let's lay out what we know, clearly separating official confirmation from the near-official leak picture that's been building since the user manual accidentally went live on Insta360's own website. What is officially confirmed by Insta360. New custom Sony sensors described as 1-inch equivalent. Insta360's own language for the imaging system. An updated triple AI chip system. A significant processing upgrade from the X5's architecture. And of course, the August 12th launch date confirmed through official teaser material. What the user manual and Roland Quant's hardware leak confirmed. Dual 1/1.1-inch sensors. The specific measurement behind the 1-inch equivalent description, and a meaningful step up from the X5's 1/1.28-inch sensors. Larger sensors mean more physical light gathering area, which translates directly into better low-light performance, improved dynamic range in challenging lighting conditions, and cleaner shadows at higher ISOs. 360-degree video resolution, 8K at 50 frames per second. This is the frame rate upgrade the community has been requesting for 2 generations. The X4 and X5 both topped out at 8K 30, which produced smooth enough footage in controlled conditions, but introduced visible motion judder in fast-moving 360-degree content. The kind you notice most when wearing a headset or dragging a 360-degree video on a phone screen. At 50 frames per second, that smoothness problem largely disappears. Single lens mode, 5.7K at 60 frames per second or 4K at 120 frames per second. For creators who use the X6 as a standard action camera rather than a full 360-degree capture device, the 4K 120 option means genuinely cinematic slow motion in a pocketable body. Color, 10-bit depth, Dolby Vision, iLog, and the new adaptive tone. 2.0. The 10-bit upgrade is the one that matters most in post-production. More tonal information means smoother gradients, better color grading flexibility, and less visible banding in complex lighting situations. Adaptive Tone 2.0 builds on Insta360's existing AI-driven HDR processing to render high-contrast scenes more naturally with less manual intervention. Battery and charging, confirmed in the official user manual, 2,600 mAh capacity, 22 minutes to 80%, 33 minutes to full charge with PD 3.0 PPS support, up to 233 minutes of continuous recording. A multifunction charging hub that charges 2 batteries simultaneously. Reverse charging capability to phones via USB-C. Body, more compact than the X5 at approximately 10 by 5 by 4 centimeters, 195 grams. 5 grams lighter despite the larger sensors and bigger battery. Large front OLED touchscreen peaking at 1,200 nits. Genuinely usable in direct outdoor sunlight, which has been a frustrating daily limitation on previous X-series cameras. Photos, up to 42 megapixels per lens, combining to 120 megapixel 360-degree stills. A significant jump for real estate, architecture, and experiential photography where resolution actually matters. Let's talk about what actually changes for the people who use this camera every day, because the spec list is long, but the impact points are specific. The charging story is the one nobody's talking about enough. 22 minutes to 80% is not a spec, it's a workflow revolution. The old reality for 360-degree camera creators was charge overnight, carry multiple batteries, manage anxiety about running out of power mid-shoot. The new reality is find a USB-C PD charger anywhere in the world, plug in for 20 minutes during lunch, and you have more than enough power for the afternoon. In locations where carrying extra batteries is impractical, climbing, cycling, deep travel, that changes everything. The 8K 50 frames per second upgrade matters most in the way viewers consume 360-degree content. When someone watches a 360-degree video on a phone or in a headset, their brain is constantly tracking motion. The entire frame is in motion as they look around. At 30 frames per second, there's a subtle stutter at the edge of perception, a slightly unnatural quality that most viewers can't articulate, but that makes them less likely to watch for a long time. At 50 frames per second, that artifact largely disappears. The footage feels like presence rather than footage. For creators making immersive content, virtual tours, travel experiences, event coverage, this is the difference between content people experience and content people merely watch. The 1200 nit OLED screen solves a problem that sounds trivial until you've experienced it. Trying to frame a 360-degree shot in bright outdoor sunlight on a dim screen means guessing. It means getting home and reviewing footage and discovering that what you thought was centered wasn't, or that a subject was slightly out of the intended frame. A screen bright enough to read in direct sun changes field monitoring from a frustrating approximation into a reliable tool. Adaptive tone. 2.0 is the feature that matters most for creators who don't spend hours in post. Most 360-degree camera buyers aren't full-time colorists. They shoot events, travel, real estate, family moments, and they need footage that looks good without extensive manual work. AI-driven HDR processing that intelligently balances exposure across the frame in real time is the kind of invisible upgrade that makes every video look more considered than it actually was. Here is the part of this video where hedged language completely disappears. August 12, 2026. Official. Confirmed by Insta360 through teaser material. Not a prediction, not a pattern extrapolation. A date. Pre-order links will activate on or around August 12th, possibly simultaneously with the official announcement. The Amazon India listing through Insta360's own official store is already in place as a placeholder. Global availability is expected at launch, consistent with Insta360's established pattern of simultaneous worldwide releases for flagship X series cameras. On pricing, the base X6 is expected at approximately €689, translating to roughly $749 to $799 at current exchange rates. The Essentials bundle, which includes the battery handle, additional accessories, and extended storage options, steps up to approximately €789. That's a meaningful premium over the X5's launch pricing, but it comes with genuinely larger sensors, a dramatically improved charging system, 8K 50 frames per second capability, 10-bit Dolby Vision recording, and a 1200 nit OLED screen that the X5 couldn't offer. For creators who are genuinely invested in 360-degree content, the value case is straightforward. One practical note: the FCC certification was fully granted on July 3, 2026. That means US availability is clear, no regulatory complications, no regional delay. The X6 is coming to American shelves on the same timeline as the rest of the world. If you're considering pre-ordering, waiting for official stock and warranty is always the recommended path, particularly when the official launch is now days away rather than weeks or months. We started this video talking about months of careful, hedged coverage, rumor cycles, credible sourcing, regulatory filings, accidentally published user manuals, all the building blocks of a story that was always pointing toward one moment. This is that moment. August 12th is the day the Insta360 X6 stops being the camera we've been anticipating and becomes the camera you can actually order. Dual 1/1.1-inch sensors, 8K at 50 frames per second, 22 minutes to 80% charge, 10-bit Dolby Vision, a triple AI chip system, a 1200 nit OLED that finally solves the outdoor monitoring problem, a body that's somehow smaller and lighter than what it's replacing, despite being more capable in almost every meaningful way. The X5 was excellent. The X6 is the camera the X5 pointed toward. The wait is over. A few more days. Subscribe, because on August 12th, we'll be here with everything you need to know the moment it goes live. Thanks for watching.